experiment here about measuring the densities of various metals. I'm going to use the principle of Archimedes, which essentially says that you can measure the volume of an irregularly shaped object by the amount of water that is displaced by it. Apparently Archimedes did this because he got in the bathtub and he noticed that when he put his leg in that the water level rose up, and he realized that the amount of water displacement was equal to the volume of the thing that was put in the water. He used this to determine that a crown that was supposed to be made of pure gold was actually adulterated with silver. And apparently he was so excited by this that he jumped out of the bathtub and ran naked down the street. So if you guys are in the neighborhood anytime soon, you might want to not drive by. What we're going to do is we're going to use this property to understand the density of these various metals. This is aluminum, that's tin, that's brass, that's zinc, cast iron, and then this is that mystery metal that I made, which I was hoping was aluminum bronze. So the way we'll do this is I've got this cup, I've got a slit cut in the side of it. I fill it with water until the water runs out of the slit, and then I weigh it. .67, and then I'll put it back over the hole and we'll lower the aluminum in and we'll just see the weight of the water which is displaced. Now this is not going to be anywhere near a scientific experiment, obviously, and my little dipper also displaces water, so it's not perfect, but it ought to get us pretty close. I'll just sit it in there until the water stops running out. One of the ways to minimize error is to use larger chunks of metal, which is the reason why I'm using 2 rather than 1. I just hold it until it stops running. Lift it out, shake off some of the water so that as much water as possible is left over after we're done. And let's weigh it again. .33. So we're going to do that again. We're going to do that with each of these metals and see what we come up with. Always let it run over first, so that at least we have some sort of reproducibility. Okay, this one will be brass. Keep going until it stops running. I really wanted to do copper, but I just don't have a chunk of copper which is large enough to make up for the inherent inaccuracies of this method. So I can't do copper. I'm just going to have to use a published density for copper in order to figure the rest of this stuff out. I tried, but I can't fold up unmelted copper tight enough to eliminate air spaces, and it just keeps not working as far as the density calculation. All right, cast iron. Let's look at an example of the calculation. So here's brass. There was 437.7 grams of brass, and the cup before, or when it was filled with water, was 408 grams of water. Water is 1 cc per gram. That's easy, so 408 cc's of water. After the displacement, there are 353 cc's of water left, which means that the metal had a volume of 55.37. Divide that into that, you get a density of 7.9 grams per cc. Similarly, zinc came out at 6.55. Fairly straightforward calculation. I did it for each of them. Here are the results tabulated. First of all, here's the pre-weights of each of the cups. You can see that they all actually fall within a range of 0.2% of each other. So this method might not be accurate, but it's definitely precise, really kind of reproducible. So for aluminum, I got 2.52. That's actually 93% of the published value for aluminum and aluminum alloys. According to the interwebs, aluminum alloys all fall right around 2.7. For brass, I got 7.9. That's 94% of the number that I calculated. I calculated this as a ratio of 33% zinc and 67% copper. Came out at 8.36, and that number is 94% of that. I'm way off on cast iron. I'm not sure why. It was by far my smallest sample in volume, and maybe that I needed more volume in order to make up for the inaccuracies of the method. For tin, I came up with 7.05. Pure tin is at 7.26. Tin, of course, is not tin. It's pewter, and it's usually alloyed either with antimony or lead. I'm guessing because this is more in the range that my pewter was probably alloyed with antimony. And then for zinc, I came up with 93% of the published value for zinc. So I'm a little low kind of across the board. Not sure why. I actually went back and recalculated by removing the displacement of the stick, and that was only about 0.2 ml, and it really didn't change these numbers to any significant degree. This was the result from my unknown. Remember, I tried to make aluminum bronze. It came out at 8.86, which is much denser than I thought it would be. I actually calculated the expected densities for aluminum bronzes over a range of aluminum content. I really thought I'd be down here somewhere. This says that I'm at like around 2% aluminum and 98% copper, which really surprises me. I really did not expect that, and frankly, I don't really believe it, but that's the number that I got. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Hope you'll like and subscribe. Tell your friends if you liked the episode. To quote Archimedes, I guess I'll say Eureka. This episode had a lot about the brain, but it's about to get very biological, so close your eyes if you're driving by and have a great day.